A cornerstone of Cornerstone roots, Brian Ruawai is a singer, songwriter and guitarist. Reggae is his music, Raglan is his home. Aside from being the founder and frontman of one of the country's preeminent roots reggae bands, Ruawai played a leading role in the establishment of Raglan's Soundsplash Music Festival, fighting the inherent prejudices of City Hall to get permission to use council land. Back in 2007, he described how the culturally ignorant regularly stereotype him as that guy with the dreads who smokes a lot of pot and drinks a lot of piss. The reality is a lot more interesting. Brian Ruawai.
I don't know who actually put that bio together, it wasn't me. Initially I was trying to wiggle out of doing this, but because I know Bianca, I got some photos together in the last couple of days, and here we go. Okay, so this is King Tubby. He was an electronic genius who has been influential across many genres of music, popular music, the inventor of dub music, and the concept of remix, dance and electronic music. He used to use reverb units like this, where it'd make a sort of they had a spring in it and it would go like this, and so he'd take the vocals out and then he'd start dubbing up in his music and smash it on drums and sticks. This is Lee Scratch Perry here, who followed in the 1970s doing dub music, working with Bob Marley and a whole lot of artists. That's Mad Professor. We played with these guys in 2005, I think it was, at the Wellington Town Hall, and got a lot of tips off these guys. This is an old tape machine that Mad Professor used to bring the whole tape machine around and actually do it live, have his desk, have his old tape machine, and produce his dubs live on stage, and used to drag it around with him everywhere. That's a Tascam 38 with a lot of dust on it at the moment. That is a Space Echo that a lot of the 1970s artists used to use. It's got a tape inside, it has 6 heads, and each time the music is printed on there, it prints again and again and again and causes this tape delay. They're quite rare. I picked that up in Japan in 2006, I think in Harajuku. That's a chorus echo there. It's like the later version of that. Bands like Fat Freddy's Drop use that on their dubs, some of the Trinity Roots albums, and a couple of our albums. If you want to hear it, let's go buy the album. This is Big Youth. This is photographed out at Raglan. We came over here one year for the Soundsplash Festival. That's all I mentioned. He was an originator, a great guy in the 1970s. Had a couple of #1 hits in Jamaica. He's got the distinctive red, gold and green jewels planted in his teeth. This here is an old, it's a MT40 Casio tone, and it was responsible for the birth of dancehall. One of the most well-known tunes was the Sling Ting rhythm, and that's still versioned today in dubstep and modern music. That's a DW snare that Ricky Gooch gave to me from Trinity Roots. It's quite a rare one. It's an antique one. It's kind of got a great sound, and I've sampled it on our albums as well. This next slide, that's my guitar. That's an early 70s Strat. It's been hammered for the last 13 years, and I got it off a guy out at Raglan, B-Rex, and before that, I think it was the Kidder Boys or something. So it's been around, but it's a great guitar. It's really old, but I should really hang it up because it's a vintage classic. That's an Echo guitar. A shipment of these guitars got lost and ended up in New Zealand in the 70s from Italy. And I'd heard that I played one when I was a young kid, and the guy said, if you ever get one, grab one. I was on tour in Dunedin a few years ago. I saw one in a second-hand store and bought it. That's a trumpet that got given to my son when we were in Amsterdam a couple of years ago. We stayed with him and we come back from the coffee shops and stuff like that, and he started playing it and he goes, "Do you want it? You can have it. And you can take it on the condition that after 6 months you're not playing it." And yeah, that's why I ended up with it. It's Naomi, my partner's bass guitar. It's a Fender Mustang. It's the same model that James Jamerson, one of the best bass players in the world, responsible for all the Motown hits. And I mean, you know, he got the greatest sound. This is inspiration. Jimi Hendrix, 9 to the Universe. That's my favourite album. It's real mind-expanding music without taking hard drugs, I suppose. Yeah, so that's more for inspiration. That one there of Hendrix. That's a salt lamp. And yeah, that's, if you're into this stuff, it neutralises. It's, you know, like positive ions, you know, from all the equipment and stuff like that, based on the Schumann response frequencies. There's a whole lot of story behind that. This is a painting that we got given in Samoa by John Poynton, who's an artist that went there in the 1970s. He painted that of the tsunami, and he gifted that. He passed away in 2011, so that sits on my wall as well, because there's people from Reagan that passed away. That there is a sperm whale's tooth that was given to us, and the story behind that was that because we had a bit of trouble a few years ago, when a whale's in trouble, they sort of stick together, so that was symbolic of that. And those two photos up there are from well-known sound tech Scott Newth. It's an old essay, 2000 guitar. It's based on the Gibson 335. That was given to me by a friend who's now passed away as well, and I'll probably gift it back to his family one of these days. That's my amp that I gig with. It's got a couple of set lists on it that have been there for a few years. It's been thrashed as well. But it's not a very good amp actually, but yeah, I think they produced those in 1996. And this is my creative space, where it's my creative man cave, I suppose, where I, yeah, on the spur of the moment, just snapped around all the different things and to get you a glimpse into, yeah, my creative space. So, and that's looking out over at the Reagan Harbour. Okay, cool, thanks.